This is Relay Talk with your host DKEN, and today we're going to go through every game of round 2, and I'm going to pick a winner for every single game. Now, if you guys remembered, I did this also for round 1, and so we're just going to go through the same exact pattern. This will be the last round where there's 16 total games, because as you know, this is a a double elimination tournament, which means if you lose twice, you can't play anymore. So after this round, I believe there's eight teams eliminated. So 8 of these teams we will not see in round 3, which is kind of sad. I will admit. I feel like compared to Relay 1, I've gotten a lot closer to each of these teams because I have to go through and I have to watch every single game. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting getting our first couple eliminations after this round. But it also means that there's less work for me. Let's go, babe. I'm kidding. Now, just a fun little tidbit. In terms of round 1 picks, the general, game predictions document with all the aggregated predictions was 10-6 in round 1 picks. So they guessed correctly 10 times, guessed incorrectly 6 times. And as for me, I was also 10-6. I guessed correctly 10 times and incorrectly 6 times. So, I mean, we're kind of on the same eye level, I guess. We did pick different winners for different games, but we'll see what it's like for this second round. Anyway, before we actually get into it, I want to thank you guys so much for submitting predictions in the document that is posted in the description right now. Go fill out some. But I want to thank you so much. I didn't think I was going to get many predictions submitted like past round 1. But you guys proved me wrong. So if you feel like really awesome about like having submitted a prediction for round 2, keep it coming, man. Like, good job. Thank you so much, you guys. It really helps out the show more than subscribing and liking. I always push you guys to do it, and thank you so much. And without further ado, I think I'm just gonna jump right into it. So our first game of round 2 is on the 15th of March at 1900 UTC. We have 28th seed Friendless with Crow Pro, Sammy MCSR, and Pixanui versus the 15th seed Team Keck with 7 Roll, D-Max, and the Talking Mime. Now, this is a loser bracket match, so whoever loses this one will not continue in the tournament. I think both of these teams really have basically an equal shot of beating the other. I think neither of them are really happy with the way they've performed in the previous round, obviously. I think, though, Team Keck really had much of a much cleaner run overall than did Friendless, mainly because of how long Pixanui took. If those kind of shenanigans happen again for either team, I think it's a definite loss for sure. I mean, obviously, just because you're in the losers bracket really doesn't mean anything. It just means you were probably a little bit unlucky in the first round. But Team Keck is favored by about 4 minutes and 15 seconds, which basically means they're a little bit favored. 4 minutes in the grand scheme of things is really not that much, especially since in like round 1 we saw a lot of games be like decided by 8 or 9 or 10 minutes, like whole teams being set back an entire run. But I mean, these two teams, in my eyes, are very, very equal, and it's kind of hard for me to pick between them. We didn't get to see Crow Pro play at all, but apparently he's really, really good. So I mean, I guess the mix-up of the versions order also affects things too, right? Because in round 2, 1.16 goes first. Then pre 1.9 and the 1.14 last. So we will get to see Crow Pro play, and obviously having a strong 1.16 runner is going to be huge. Because it kind of sets the momentum, I guess, sets the tone for the run. Obviously having your very first runner, example Pixanui, kind of botching things, it kind of sets a damper on the entire match for your team. Obviously you don't know what the other team is doing. In Friendless's case, They spent like an hour and 30 minutes completing a run, only for them to lose at the end to us. So I think it's just a coin toss for me. I think Team Keck wins it out. They did have a much cleaner run, and that's really the only thing I have to go off of here. And we're going to say goodbye to Friendless. All right, next we have, on the same day at 20:30 o'clock, new SSG Community with its Tofinator, Zach, and Teddy Ursa versus the 18th seed French Cocktail with Blide, Philocreep, and Nixer. Now, this is also another loser's bracket match, so this is down to the wire stuff. Obviously, new SSG Community had a legendary epic fail in their first round. So the big story here is whether or not they can kind of make up for it, I feel like. French Cocktail, I don't... Let me check the document here. Philocreep had a 34-minute time. Blide is a 1.16 runner who didn't get to finish. I mean, just... yeah, Nixor, I believe he died like multiple times in the Nether segment, which kind of upended the run with a day cycle and all of that. I think... I'm not going to say that Blaze deaths are not common, because they most definitely are. But Nixor is the type of player that can pull a fast one on you if all things go right. That being said, though, new SSG Community has an insane 1.9 runner in Teddy Ursa. So I feel like it's a little unfair to like go with a higher seeded team in this case, but like it's pretty rare for like a strong team to just fail twice, even though it did happen in Relay 1. But I'm gonna go with the new SSG Community. I still have faith in them. I believe they can, at least Zach specifically, can learn from his mistakes, hopefully anyway. Yeah, next game we have on the 18th of March at 22:30 UTC. The third seeded Adrift with Maljack, Rikagan, Spinnaker versus the 11th seed Hot Tourist with New, Microventure, and Nice Twice. So this one is in the winner's bracket. And this is a big match, at least dear to my heart, because assuming a throwaway joke, we win our next game, which is basically impossible. We face the winner of these two. And these two teams are really good. I mean, you have... both these teams are just stacked with like speedrunning veterans. And I know Microventure probably not happy with his kind of scuffed 1.15 run. And we'll see if he sticks with that version. I think if... It all depends on how much preparation he has put effort into for this tournament. I think if my suggestion for him would be to switch to 1.14, just because there's a lot of things you don't really have to consider. Even though technically for second day 1.15 is the same, you have to like worry about preserving the restocks, which is kind of worrisome. You know, having to like break the villager brewing stand up to like the second lapis trade, because you might want to get more than 12 pearls. It's just a lot of chaos if you're not like that used to it. Once again, my suggestion is to play 1.14. It's really simple, especially if you're just coming into this version without a lot of experience. That's a double negative. What am I doing? But Adrift, man, they are, like I said, they're the best team. And it's these two crazy teams clashing it out. But the thing is, I just saw so much clean play from Adrift. Although Maljack kind of had a scary end fight, I will mention, but I don't think that's really too much of a factor. If you guys forgot what happened in their previous round, Maljack almost choked the sub hour due to like missing or messing up a perch. Which is a little scary, but didn't compromise the run really. But man, these like the farther we get into this tournament, the harder it will be to pick a winner and pick a winner accurately at that. I mean, jeez, Microventure will have to learn 1.14 because Rikagan is not going to run it. I think the winner is Adrift here. Now, Adrift is favored by just 430, which basically means it's pretty even with the slight favor towards Adrift. But I think I'm going to take it. They're probably going to beat them by more than 30. Yeah, next one we have on the 19th of March at 0 o'clock. 29th seed Team W with Crystal, Esmexian, Solstice versus the 23rd seed Los Santos y El Pato with Santa, Sergi Chistan, and Pato Cesar. Okay, so this is another loser bracket game. I feel like these two teams are like super even in skill level. These two teams had their 1.7 runner basically just choke and then choke some more and then choke some more in their round 1 game. This time they'll be playing second, which gives them some time to, I guess, calm their nerves. It's also exciting because we get to see Crystal and Santa run for the first time. Neither of those two played at all in round 1. So in terms of that, I guess I'm kind of guessing in the dark. I think this is another one of those like coin toss games. As for like the raw skill, I think Team Spanish is a little better. But the thing is, I don't know enough about each runner's backgrounds to really have a strong judgment, because the only real thing I can go off of here is previous tournament play and whether or not I know them. I think this is kind of straightforward. I think Team Spanish wins. Nothing really to see here. Team Spanish is favored by a whopping 10 minutes and 30 seconds, which I guess kind of confirms the fact that they are technically a more stacked of a team. And I don't think it's going to take too much brain power to realize that they're going to win. There could be an upset, but I don't think that's going to be in this specific game. Excited to see Santa play. I didn't know he had a PC gaming rig up there in the North Pole, but hopefully his fingers don't get too cold. Next, we have, on the same day, 1 hour later, is that correct? There's no way. The tournament organizers really scheduled a game 1 hour. That's got to be a typo. Organizers, fix this. Anyway, as it stands, 1 hour after that next match, what is this? Hey, Team Spanish, man, you got a sub hour. If we don't, there's gonna be some problems. We have the 30th seed Fine Clamp with Rain or Something, Ficus, and Days Nova versus the 13th seed, the only team with pants, obviously, Paragon, CZ, and Ultimate Gamer Guy. This is a loser bracket game, and I think this is pretty clear, to me at least. I think the only team with pants is probably going to run away with it. The only thing is, if Ultimate Gamer Guy plays decent, and I'm not even saying good, I'm saying like decent. I'm looking at the solo boards here, and Ultimate Gamer Guy finished in 1.7 with like a final time 1 hour 14 minutes. That's gonna be pretty easy to beat, I hope. I think anything under a time of like 30 minutes is good. I don't think Ultimate Gamer Guy really needs to focus on anything crazy, because I think the more you chase a certain pace, the more willing you are to make risks, right? Let's say if I wanted to sub 25 in like 1.14 in my next match, well, if I'm not on that certain pace, it's silly to make like certain plays in order to make up for that, because, well, I'm the only person forcing myself to get sub 25. The entire goal was to win the entire race. And in these early versions, like the expectations don't have to be that crazy high. So I believe Ultimate Gamer Guy can play well. I know they have a great PB, which proves that they're capable of doing such. Some people have more nerves than others. Ultimate Gamer Guy is a great example of that, but I don't think I see enough talent on Fine Clap. Obviously, if they do, they're very welcome to prove me wrong. But yeah, Days Nova had a lot of struggles of their own. I don't remember if we really got to see Ficus play. We definitely didn't get to see Rain or Something. Looking on the bracket here, not the bracket, the solo boards. Man, I can't find them for some reason. Only team with pants. Let's see. Should I control F this? I shall. D. Only team with pants. No, wrong one. Yeah. Okay, so Fickus got like a 27-minute run, which is good. It's good. And yeah, Rain or something did actually play, but we didn't. He didn't finish. I'm taking the Pants team. I think that was a foregone conclusion. The Pants team is favored by 6 minutes, which is a considerable amount, I believe. And we're gonna say bye to Fine Clap, unfortunately. And yeah, next game we have the 8th seed. Sorry, I should say when this game is happening. It's the same day, March 19th, at 16 o'clock UTC. We have the 8th seed, Tri-County Titanium Mothman, with Xylonox, Curryway, and Illumina against the 16th seed, Rockin' Balls, with Hade, Mishbanya, and Hart. Now, if Hade, or was it Hanart? I think it was Hade, who was not able to play 1.7 in the last round. And obviously, the public... No, it was Hanart. Yeah, it was Hanart, who was residing in Ukraine, could not play. I doubt the situation's any better unless they like relocated or something. I literally have zero information on this. I don't know how much information the organizers have on that. Obviously, all hopes toward Hanart being able to play. We'll love to see some pre 1.9 action, especially because if Hanart gets to play, Illumina gets to play. Woo! Illumina fan here, but I think Tri-County is a stronger team. They finished with like a 104, which is really good. Corey currently holds like the 1.14 fastest time in the tournament. Xylonox and Illumina both had a great one. And the only reason Illumina didn't like have a sub 25, I mean, among other factors, but like he had to eventually go for second day nether, which I believe wasn't really his fault. Was it like bad blaze rod luck or something? Anyway, I think Tri-County, I said this in the last episode, was a team that surprised me with how well they played. And I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. I know Rockin' Balls played pretty well, but I don't think played well enough to, match their pace, really. Tri-County is favored by 5 minutes, which I thought it would be more, but it's not. But I think they win. I think they win by over 5 minutes as well. And that's it for that game. Next we have, on the 20th of March at 17:30 UTC, we have the 32nd team with Team Ireland with Korobo, Look, and Kai against the 10th seed, the Doubters with Epnoc, Roy, and Speed Nintendo. Now we have the famous Team Ireland that just came off of a round 1 upset. But I don't think they're really good enough to continue the hype. Mainly because, like I said, the new SSG community back in round 1, who Team Ireland had faced, it's not like it was really a close game. It's just new SSG community just basically threw every single chance that they had to win, and Team Ireland just kind of chipped away. I mean, it wasn't even because they were like cracked or anything. And I know the Doubters can play pretty well. I know Speed Nintendo had some troubles, but I think that was seed based, because Nixor had troubles with the same exact seed. I think Speed Nintendo can definitely play well, so I'm not worried about him at all. As for the other two runners, they had pretty great runs by themselves. I think, in my mind, I've always underestimated the Doubters. You could say I've doubted the Doubters. Wow! But, yeah, they finished with, like, a 119 in round 1. If you substitute, like, Speed Nintendo's 38-minute run with, like, 28 minutes, that's a 109, which is pretty good. And, yeah, Team Ireland, I don't think they're... I will say they got lucky in round 1. I think they know that too. Obviously, Kai got like a 48-minute run, which, I mean, the fact that you won with that is a testament to how bad the other team played. I just don't think Team Ireland can pull off another upset. It's really unlikely. The Doubters are favored by like 5 minutes and 30 seconds. I agree with that. They're probably going to beat them by more than 5 minutes 30 seconds. I'm taking the Doubters here. Next, we have on the 20th, at 2100 UTC, we have the 4th seed. We are single instance with El Richie, Whatever Marco, Galactic Afro against the 19th seed Team Delta with Shy, Baratao, and Frogs. Now, this is another winner's bracket game, and a great one at that, actually. Team Delta having the slimmest margin of victory in probably relay history with like 20 or 30 seconds, beating out Serious Dedication in round 1. I mean, they look like a really good team against We Are Single Instance, who had broken the tourney best at the time of their match. I mean, these two teams are really great. I didn't think Team Delta was that hot of a team when I first made my round 1 predictions. I remember I thought they would be beat by like more than whatever their opponents were favored by. I've definitely changed my mind. I really like how Team Delta plays. Frogs is really good. I mean, Frogs and Baratao each took like 3-minute resets and ended up matching and making up for like their time loss. Like that just shows that they're very good. Obviously, Team We Are Single Instance is a great team in and of themselves. I think this is like a recurring theme, man. Two crazy teams going against each other. Something about Team Delta makes me want to like pick them. I don't know why. Even though no one from Single Instance really looks like they will ever throw in the remainder of this tournament, I just really think it would be cool if Team Delta wins. I think I'm voting with my heart and not my head here. But I mean, as a general rule, you should pick upsets here and there. So, but there's got to be some reasoning to it, right? Let's see. Team Delta, what were their times from round 1? So Frogs had like a 23-minute run. If you take away like the 3-minute reset. Baratao had a 25-minute run if you take away the 3-minute reset. And Shy had a 13:55. I mean, those are really good times. If you take away those like silly resets from Team Delta, that's a 102. Like that's a really great time. So I think Team Delta definitely has what it takes. It's just about whether or not they can make less mistakes, I feel like. And if they do, they got to be small. But you have my blessing. Go win out, Team Delta. Do it for my sake. All right, next game we have on the 25th of March at 1900 UTC, 19 o'clock UTC. The first seeded Team 1 with Molly G, Feinberg, and Infume against the 9th seeded Team Blood Trail with Automat, Zaya, and Lure. I hope I said Zaya's name correctly. I did see Automat correcting my pronunciation, but I feel like even typing out the correct way to say it is like a little scary. Just email me an audio file, mate. That's the best. I'm kidding. Anyway, this is the game I've been looking forward to the most, actually, out of round 2. Because I can't tell who's going to win this one. Team 1 looks like a cracked team, but I'm not sold on Infume. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sold on Infume. He's very fast, but like he in round 1, if you guys remember, he died in the end fight by not placing a block between him and the bed, and like that's such a small little like mistake to make. But those kind of mistakes come from nerves, which is really hard to like correct because you can't really practice nerves. At the same time, like it's not just because Team Blood Trail is like 8 seeds lower than them. I don't think that really shows too much of a talent gap. I think Team Blood Trail really has what it takes to beat Team 1. They are really even in terms of skill. Team 1 is only favored by like 2 minutes 45, which basically goes to show that this is like coin flip territory here. I think in the perfect world, I would like Team Blood Trail to win because I just like upsets. Also, I think it would be really cool if like Automat just could farm every single correct prediction in the challenge like bracket prediction thing. And in his predictions, he has him winning the second round, which is interesting. I'm not saying I'm copying the wise predictions of Automatic here, but I feel like Blood Trail will win, probably by less than 2 minutes. I think if round one said anything, I think it showed that close games are actually possible amidst all the chaos of like many deaths and resets. But I think this will be an insanely close game. It is in the winner's bracket, so if one of these two crazy teams does lose, they're not completely out. But yeah, I will take Team Blood Trail here. Next, we have on the 25th at 2045 UTC, we have the 5th seed, the Magnificent 3 with Hoffick, Malin, and Lacking Toast against the 22nd seed, Cottage Builders with Jamie, Blob, and Ox Idiot. For me, this is pretty clear who's going to win. I think it's going to be the Magnificent 3. Both teams did have a kind of a choke fest in terms of their round one games. Obviously, you had Ox Idiot just completely battling it out with Ultimate Gamer Guy for like who could die the most at 1.7, and Malin just completely struggling at 1.14. But I think just the Magnificent 3 has like considerably better talent than does Cottage Builders, which could be ill-informed. Obviously, I don't know anyone really on the Cottage Builders, but you know, like tournament, we do have one tournament game as evidence to look back on, and I think the Magnificent 3 has better potential. Also, they are favored by 6 minutes. So I mean, this is kind of an easy one to pick for me. All Malin has to do really is to just be better at 1.14. I really don't really know what else to say. I remember they were coping pretty hard, blaming their deaths on 1.14. I haven't really looked into how justified that is, but I think if you at the very least dying to the Blaze and to the Golem, that's 100% your fault. I understand maybe the 1.14 Dragon can be a little bit quirky, but come on, man, those deaths are 100% you. Either way, I think I'm gonna pick Magnificent 3 to win. The 6 minutes, I don't think they'll win by 6 minutes. And that's just kind of accounting for, well, the fact that both teams have chokeable players, if that makes sense. And I think, well, if one team chokes, there's a high chance the other team will. Or they could just both play really insane. I could definitely see both of those happening. Anyway, Magnificent 3 wins. Next, we have on the 26th of March at 1300 UTC, the 31st seed Team NDA with Whitebot, Draconics, and 4 versus the 20th seed Team Korea with Temp, Zidori, and Haru. This is another one of those loser bracket games. Yeah, so we're gonna say bye-bye to one of these teams after this round, and I say here I think it's gonna be NDA. 4 greatly struggled in 1.7, and it's like there were a lot of like little tiny things. It's the details that get you. And 4 even admitted himself that the last time that he played 1.7 was in the previous relay, which means that he's not been like practicing a whole lot, which I don't blame him. I haven't been practicing a whole lot either. But I think Team Korea has better potential. Zidori, I remember, played pretty well in 1.15 round 1. Temp has a good PB. Haru is fabled to be like a completely cracked 1.7 player. I haven't seen it, but that doesn't mean it's not true. I think Team Korea is a stronger team. They had a pretty respectable combined time in round 1, except for the fact that like Haru died twice and all that. But yeah, Team Korea is favored by 530, so it's just another one of those games where there's kind of a little bit of a clear favorite. And yeah, I'm just going to go with Team Korea, saying bye-bye to NDA. And yeah, next game. Well, this is a special one. On the 27th of March at 1900 UTC, we have 7th seed, a throwaway joke with Multiporal DKEN, that's me by the way, and Max against the 17th seeded Fisherman with Crooks, GD Taffel, and Axeroth. We're not gonna win this one. I don't know what else to say. The fishermen are like top three in the entire relay. They're that good of a team. Don't let their 17th seed like mislead you. They are insanely good. They finished with a 1 hour 2 minute combined time in relay one. They have probably hands down the best 1.16 player in the relay. Axeroth had a sub 25. GD Taffel had a 26-minute time. I mean, these are some crazy runners here that we're going up against, and you can argue that Max, who is on our team, is the best 1.7 runner in the relay, and I can definitely see that. And that's actually what I think too. I think we have the best 1.7 runner. He does have the best run, I believe, with like a 22:58. But I don't think it's enough to carry me and Multiportal to a victory, especially since we are some two trash players. I think after our run had finished, I had the slowest 1.14 run, and Multiportal had the slowest 1.16 run, and somehow we like squeaked away with the victory, which is just completely unmanageable. But there's no way that happens again. I don't think we win. I really want us to win, and I believe it can happen, right? But if I'm betting with my head here, I don't give us any kind of shot. I mean, we are 10-minute underdogs, 10-minute 30-second underdogs, which is just insane. If you were making predictions, I wouldn't give us any chance. Unless you were just that kind of person who loves underdogs and just thinks anything can happen, which it can, obviously. But yeah, Crooks is just too good of a 1.16 runner, and Multiportal, he has no shot. He doesn't even know how to use Ninja Brain Bot, which is kind of insane. But to be fair, I don't either. Next game, we have the 6th-seeded. By the way, the next 4 games have not been scheduled yet as of recording, so unfortunately, I can't tell you when it will happen, but anyway, you'll figure it out. Team Zach, 6th-seeded with Lysotroph, Doug Pixfumi against the 24th seed Mates Gang with Antu, Deferade, and FedEx Cole. Team Zach coming off a victory in round 1 against Team T-Wags. With one of the cleanest games probably of all round 1. I think they definitely show that they can pull it off again. The fact is, like, Team Zech, and I know at least for Doug, maybe all the runners kind of didn't have the greatest seeds, but were still able to pull off like a 105, which at the time was tournament best. So I think they have what it takes to play clean, and they also can play clean without having to depend on like good seeds and all that stuff. Mates Gang is a bit of a different story. They mainly won in round 1 because Super Hot Fire just took every opportunity they could to just throw the game away, more or less. So, I mean, I think Team Zach wins here. It's kind of an easy pick for me. They're favored by about 5 minutes. Mates Gang just doesn't strike me as a team with insane skill. I know Antu is great at 1.16. But just the other 2 runners, they're great. They remind me of me and Multiportal, I feel like. Just a little bit. Pretty good, but not crazy fast. Not fast enough to like win against a team like Team Zach. So I'll take Team Zach here for this game. Next, we have the 26th seed, Lelox, with Javier Xman, or X-Man, as I called him. Fala and Real Pasho against the 12th seeded Serious Dedication with Bosker Videos, Ready Band, and the Blazer. I think this is kind of another easy game to pick. Serious Dedication will probably win this one, mainly because they had a great run, and unfortunately they lost. They had a 109 combined time, which I think against any, like, in most circumstances would win you the match. They just got really lucky, were unlucky, I should say, being paired up against another awesome team in Team Delta. So, obviously, the story is quite different for Lelox. Coming off a loss against We Are Single Instance, Pasho facing many struggles. I think this is. I think Serious Dedication comes away with a clear victory here. They're favored by 5 minutes 30 seconds. I think it's gonna be more than. I think the margin of victory will be more than that. It'll be. Yeah, it'll be more than that. I can definitely see some more deaths happening. It'll be an interesting game for sure. Um, not definitely not picking their team because Ready Band is my buddy and probably the biggest fan of this show. But yeah, we're just gonna move on. Next, we have seed 27 forcing CD with Adam von Badam 03K PTC MR 123 against the 21st seed the Juice with Benda's Live Alex and Alex. This is another coin flip game, ladies and gentlemen. Alex with a Y did not get to play in round one because they went against a team that had the Ukrainian runner. So there's no data point there for me to just kind of look into. Alex with an E had a lot of struggles in 1.14, especially the end fight. And I think that's very fixable. Just set a safety bed, bring some arrows. I mean, that's honestly all you have to do. It takes maybe a minute or two extra time just to prepare all of that. And that's if you're slow about it. So I think, everything leading up to that point in the run for Alex was going pretty well. So it shouldn't be too difficult to just play better. I believe, actually, no, forcing CD, surprisingly, for me at least, is favored by 5 minutes. But I think the Juice can pull another victory out. Not another victory, their first victory. This is a loser bracket game, by the way. Like I said, it's just a coin flip game. In my eyes, these two teams are like basically the same. And yeah, the Juice pulls away. Now our last game of round 2, we have the 25th seeded team, Team T-Wags with the T-Wags, having Hamad, T-Wags, obviously, and BJR against the 14th seeded team, Super Hot Fire, with Danger, 1451, Branson TSN, and Sprapple. I picked Team T-Wags to upset Team Zatch in round 1, and that didn't exactly work out. But I think that was mainly because Team Zatch was so incredibly fast. And Team T-Wags didn't die a single time in their loss, which, I think it's kind of the situation with Serious Dedication where they had a great run. It was just the team that they were going against was insanely cracked, and they're probably one of the better teams in the loser bracket where you go over to Super Hot Fire, even though they're seated higher, they lost because of their own mistakes. And so just going off of tournament performance, I think Team T-Wags has the advantage here. And interestingly enough, this is the closest game according to the game predictions. The Super Hot Fire is favored by 30 seconds. But I honestly don't think that's going to happen. No one on Team T-Wags really looks like they can choke. And obviously in the previous round, they didn't really make any huge mistakes. BGR going for the safe play and doing second day Nether instead of second day Tower, right, or second night Tower. I think Team T-Wags pulls away with their first victory. In my opinion, it should have happened in round 1, but if it takes to round 2 to make it happen, then so be it. And that is it for round 2. Now, I would normally tell you to go fill out some predictions, and you can if you want to, but round 3 predictions are not open yet for obvious reasons. But I hope you liked this episode, and if you disagree with any of my picks, feel free to flame me in the comments below. I will greatly enjoy it, and yeah, see you around.